Hello, everybody. Welcome again with Primary 4 Science. This is Dr. Maha Hanafi with you. Today we are going to continue Session 1, Part 2. This session is still dealing with the key vocabulary in Unit 1, Concept 1, Adaptation and Survival. This part has just one objective. We are going to go around it, the habitats, okay? By the end of this session, the students must know, understand, and apply on this topic. So let's start our journey today. First of all, we must know what is the word habitat. What is the definition of the word? Here it is written, it's the natural environment in which an animal or plant usually lives. So instead of saying the natural environment, I can simply say it's the place in which an animal or a plant usually lives. What are the needs of living organisms? What is the meaning of the word need? Needs means something that a living organism always needs, always in a need to it. So احتياجات الكائنات الحية. Okay, what are the needs of living organisms? The needs are simply food, air, fresh air, water, and finally, shelter. Okay, and now what is the meaning of the word shelter? Shelter is, yes, it's a place, a safe place that we can stay safe away of the harsh weather conditions, for example. We can sleep in safely, okay? So as humans, all living organisms look for food, air, water, and shelter. All these needs, animals or plants can get these things or needs from their habitats. So simply we can consider that the habitat is like your home. So if your home contains a shelter for you, you can find in it fresh food, air, and water. So this is simply is your habitat, okay? Here we are going to go familiar with the types, different types of habitats, and we need to concentrate. It's very easy, and we are going to repeat it times and times, so it's very easy. Types of habitats is, yes, divided into two main types, land habitat and also water habitat. We all know that water covers about 70% of the area of the earth. So water habitat is also very important. So water habitats also is divided into fresh water habitat and salt water habitat, because we have two types of water, fresh water and salt water. Okay, let's come to fresh water. Here we can give some examples of freshwater habitats. For example, rivers or streams. Rivers or streams. Of course, rivers are bigger than streams. Okay, دي أنهار ودي مجاري مائية. Okay, number two of the fresh water is swamps or marshes اللي هي المستنقعات. So swamps are, it's a kind of lowland, but it is located beside a river or a sea, and that's why there is water all time in it. These are swamps or marshes. Finally, here we have ponds and lakes. These are all the four types of fresh water. What about salt water? Salt water contains seas, البحار, and oceans. And this is a very important word, ocean. Ocean, المحيط. Oceans, المحيطات. The Red Sea, for example, the Mediterranean Sea, from the concept of area, they are smaller than oceans. So oceans are huge amount of waters covering a huge part of land. So which is bigger, ocean or sea? Yes, ocean. Thank you. Let's go back to land habitats as we have finished the classification of water habitat. Land habitats, here we can see that we have many types of land habitats. We have the rainforests, as we call them, wetlands. We have deserts, and do not be surprised because there are hot deserts and also there are cold deserts, which is called the tundra, okay? You are going to hear this word many times, tundra, okay? So deserts, Hot deserts, we all know hot deserts with the sands and the very hot sunny weather, okay? But this is the new one, cold deserts, the tundra. Okay. It is called desert because there is no trees there. Okay, let's go back. Land habitats, we have mentioned rainforests or wetlands, deserts, Arctic. And this is a very important word, Arctic. Polar, yes, land habitat. Okay. And of course, these are ice, snowy, okay, lands. What about savanna? Savanna, yes, we can call them the grasslands. Savanna is a type of grasses. It is in Africa. You can find savanna regions in Africa. Taiga or coniferous, those are what we call them مناطق الغابات الصنوبرية اللي هو الconifers و pine trees also you can find them pine trees there in taiga or coniferous trees or coniferous forests. This was quick look on the types of habitats. Of course, every type has its characteristics or features. So what are the main two factors that affect any habitat? Let's see. Okay, so the main factors affecting a habitat is number one, the temperature. If it is cold, if it is warm, or it is hot. And number two is the amount of rainfall, the amount of water in the habitat. So these are the main two factors, temperature and the rainfall. By the way, I must mention here a very important word, which is tropical. The word tropical means something which is related to the equator. You know the equator. You have studied the equator in the social studies. خط الاستواء هو دائرة العرض اللي هي بتبقى في منتصف الكرة الأرضية. The equator. Okay. So again, any place or any region, any country, for example, that lies in the equator region, okay, I call it tropical. For example, tropical regions, okay? Tropical fruits, like the papaya, for example. Tropical rainforests. So the rainforests or الغابات المطيرة, they are called tropical rainforests. Why? Yes, because they lie in the tropical area or on the equator. Yes. Okay, let's go further. Now, here, this shape, this figure is very nice, very expressive, and you can easily understand the relation between the water, the amount of water or rainfall, and the temperature. Let's have a look. Okay, concentrate with the pointer. Here, by this way, what happens? Yes, increasing temperature. Increase means to raise. يزداد أو ترتفع. يعني كل ما بنبدأ من قمة الهرم ده لتحت كده، كل ما نمشي لتحت أو ننزل لتحت الحرارة بترتفع. So here, as we are going down the pyramid, the temperature raises or increase. And what about the rainfall? The amount of rainfall. It seems like here there are many green areas and also green forests, green trees, etc. So here, as we are walking now in this way, okay, along this way, increasing what? Dryness. يعني ايه هنا اللي بيزيد؟ dryness، الجفاف. يعني كل ما هنمشي بهذا الاتجاه الجفاف بيزيد. جفاف بيزيد يعني when it is dry, so it's yes, it's not wet, so there are no rains. Okay, we can see here that here full of, yes, full of water, wet areas, and also can you see? Yes, what about the temperature? Yes, it's warm here. Yes, they are warm. okay, regions and wet and also humid. Do you know the word humidity? Humidity يعني الرطوبة. So of course there are a lot of water and the weather is warm and hot sometimes, so it's also humid. All these conditions created what? The tropical forests. Where? In the tropical regions. And again, tropical means related to the equator. Okay, let's see as we go upside here, upward. Okay, here we can see that at the top there is the tundra. The tundra, it is the inside the Arctic regions, the polar regions, but it is before the North Pole. It's before the North Pole. The tundra, as we can see, doesn't have any trees, only, yes, small plants, small vegetations. What about the boreal forest? Boreal forest means pine trees, as you have studied it. Okay, what is this word? Subarctic regions. Do you remember the prefixes? Yes, this is a new prefix, which means under. So, Arctic means polar, okay? What about subarctic? Yes, under polar. So I hope that this graph is clear enough for you. Let's go further. Here you can see that this is the whole world. The colors signifies here some regions according to, as we have mentioned, the temperature and the amount of rainfall. The regions with red is the desert, the hot deserts, and Egypt is here exactly, okay? What about the yellow? The yellow is the savanna, okay, regions, where we can find acacia trees, giraffes, lions, etc. Okay, what about the pink? The pink is tropical areas. You remember the equator? Yes, the tropical areas. The area of the rainforest, okay? Wet and warm rainforests. The dark blue is the tundra regions. Can you remember? They are, yes, subarctic. This is the Arctic or polar region. This is subarctic. Okay, what about the dark green? The dark green is the taiga. Taiga, okay, where I can find pine trees. Look at this interesting device. What is this? What do you think is this? Can you see that this is a house? Okay, and this man is holding a device. It seems to be a camera. Yes, it's a camera, but what about the picture inside or the image? It's not real image, but it is called what? Yes, thermal image or thermography camera. So this camera is called the thermography camera or thermal imaging. So here I want to mention something very important, that the prefix therm related to the word temperature. Okay, so thermal imaging means taking imaging or taking images or pictures, okay, but it is related to the temperature. Okay, what can we conclude? That this picture is divided into colors, and I can say that there are some, something like scale. Let's see this picture. Now, all these pictures here in this slide, okay, are thermal images or thermography. Thermal images. Okay, can you look at this scale? This scale also here, this is a scale. Okay, this scale is like, what, thermometer. Do you know the thermometer? When you have a fever, maybe sometimes you can find in the pharmacy thermometer. It looks like a plastic one. You can stick it on your forehead and it can measure your temperature. In the same way, here there is this scale. Here is the hottest color. Red represents the hottest temperature. Red represents the hottest temperature. And as we are going down, the temperature is decreasing. Decreasing means lowering. Here, high temperature, and here, low temperature. So, what about this food? This man's food is what? Cold or hot? What do you think? Let's see this. Yes, these regions, okay, or these parts are blue. So, this food is a cold food. What about the lamp bulb? Of course, it's very hot. That's why the lamp bulb, the glass bulb itself is reddish. Yes, very reddish. Okay, because it's very hot. Okay. Do you know what is this? What about this picture? Why this glass, okay, is blue? Why do you think? Of course, it's not the color, which is blue. No, yes, it's blue because, excellent, it contains a cold or even icy water. And what about this finger? Why it is blue and the rest of hand is reddish? Yes, this man or this boy has just taken off his finger from this icy water. That's why this finger is blue, because he was putting his finger in this icy water, and etc. You can find this thermal picture or thermal image for a cat. Here, thermal image for a lady, and this is a palm, okay, or hand, also thermal. And finally, these are our friends. They are penguins. Yes. And as we can conclude, the penguins, they live in the Arctic habitats or the polar habitats. So, but we can say or notice that their feet and their heads, yes, are hotter than their body. And what about this black area? Yes, it's ice. That's why it's dark. You know, look at this scale as we go. Yes, as the temperature is going to decrease, yes, the color is going to get darker and darker, even it will be black. Now, after we have got familiar with the thermal imaging, what do you think about this thermal image of the whole world? Yes, I think now it's very clear that the region here in the equator, okay, is the hottest, the dark red color, okay? And as we are going to the north or going to the Arctic, okay, regions or Antarctica, okay, it is getting colder. The temperature is getting lower or decreasing, okay? And of course here the violet color in the, yes, Antarctica, yes, and also at the top also. Okay. Now, as we have finished discussing the main two factors affecting the habitat, and we have got familiar with the types of different habitats, we can watch this nice video about habitats.
Habitats! Every day we see and encounter different plants and animals around us. If you were to travel the world, do you think you would find the same plants and animals? Let's go on an adventure to discover all the amazing habitats out there. A habitat is a place on land or water where living organisms find food, water, shelter, and other things they need to survive. This is why we find different living organisms like plants and animals in different habitats. Are you ready to explore? Oceans are the largest habitat on Earth. We can find many marine animals living in the saltwater, like corals, fish, sharks, dolphins, and seals. Some of the animals here live completely underwater. Are you wondering how they breathe? Fish use their bodies to take in air from the water around them. And seals live near the surface of the water so they can breathe air like us humans. Let's check out another environment. It's a polar habitat. Imagine how hard these icy Arctic regions are to live in. The animals here, like penguins, bears, and whales, well, they have a thick layer of fur or fat to survive. Plants rarely grow, although there are some that can withstand the extreme cold weather. Our next location is a rainforest. As you can probably guess from the name, it rains a lot in this habitat. It's a tropical environment, so it's humid and warm all year long. There are more different kinds of plants and animals here compared to anywhere else on land. The earth is so fertile here that trees can grow to record-breaking heights. In 2019, explorers found a tropical tree taller than a soccer field is long. Nestled amongst the thriving plant life, there are monkeys, frogs, sloths, and jaguars. The last stop today is a desert habitat. It is dry and hot here during the day, but it gets a lot cooler at night. It is really hard to live here because water is so scarce. Some desert habitats get less than 1 centimeter of rainfall a year. The plants and animals here must be able to hack it in harsh conditions. Like these low trees, shrubs, and grasses, some types of cactus can even survive for over a year without water. There are also snakes, lizards, tortoises, hawks, camels, and foxes in the desert. We hope you enjoyed visiting different habitats and encountering diverse groups of plants and animals all over the globe. Go ahead and design your own trip to your favorite habitat and tell us what you expect to see.
Now, as we have finished watching this nice video, we can get dozens of videos, okay, like this and even much better. Where from? Yes, we can use the Egyptian Knowledge Bank. It's the main source of all articles, videos, okay, any information that you can look, yes, for, you can find it easily in Egyptian Knowledge Bank throughout, yes, the resources of the Discovery Education, okay, who made our books. And also we can use the Britannica Encyclopedia in the Egyptian Knowledge Bank, okay? Now, as we have covered all what is important about the habitat, we can easily go through some questions. Let's start. Let's see those questions. Number one, what is a habitat? Now we are going to choose the most correct definition for the word habitat. A, the surroundings where a person lives or works. So, a surrounding that person lives or works. Here, this is not accurate answer because here we are talking about persons, okay? Persons, not animals, not animals, and not also plants, okay? So I will consider this to be wrong, okay? A nest. Do you know the word nest? العش بتاع العصفور العش, okay? A nest or shelter built by an animal to protect its young, okay? Is the habitat only a nest or a shelter, and it is only built to protect the youngs? No. So this also is a Yes, incorrect answer. Okay, something you do that is bad for you, like biting your nails. What? No, of course not. This is not a correct answer. And finally, the place. Okay, wait. Look at this point. Yes, a place or environment. Yes, where a plant or animal naturally lives. So this is the only correct answer. So the answer is D. Let's move to the second question. In which habitat would you find squirrels, سناجب, toadstools, نوع من أنواع عيش الغراب أو الفطر, raccoons, and so think a little and try to answer this question. In which habitat would you find squirrels, toadstools, raccoons, and owls? Woodlands, okay? Desert, rainforests, or polar ice? What do you think? Think with me. Okay, so I think that desert is not correct. And also polar ice is not correct. When we start thinking, we must exclude any irrational answer. يعني لما نبدأ نجاوب الأسئلة اللي زي كده لازم من أول خطوة إن إحنا بنستبعد الإجابات الغير منطقية اللي هي it doesn't make any sense. يعني sure we cannot find those animals in desert either in the polar ice type. What about the woodland and the rainforest? What do you think? Look at this squirrel. It's standing on the tree, okay? And here the owls also. So, yes, the answer is the woodland, okay? So, these animals and plants are residents here in the woodland. The third question. There are no trees in Antarctica. Why is that? Okay, before we answer, okay, we need to know where is Antarctica. Okay, this is a map for the whole Earth. And where is Antarctica? Yes, exactly. Okay, so Antarctica is in the north. Okay, Antarctica is in the north and it is also a polar habitat. Okay, let's go back to our question. There are no trees in Antarctica. Why is that? Why do you think? Let's think together. There is no sunshine there to help trees grow. No, of course there is sunshine. Okay, so I think that this answer is not correct. Their roots cannot grow in the snow. It sounds good, okay, but let's read the whole answers, okay? The polar bears eat them all? Of course not, because the polar bear also eats fish, okay? Penguins cannot climb trees? No, also it doesn't make any sense. So what is the correct answer? Yes, B. Their roots cannot grow in the snow. Okay, you know the roots always do what? It penetrates. If this is the trunk of the tree, for example, okay, so the root, it penetrates. Penetrates means تخترق التربة, okay, and it extends inside the land, inside the soil. Okay, so can in the ice, okay, can the trees' roots penetrate? Of course not. This is the trunk, okay, and these are the roots. Okay, now with this question. Name a plant that lives in a hot desert habitat. Just mention the name. Pine tree? Do you know the pine tree? Yes, these are pine trees. And rice. Do you know the rice? How does it grow? Look with me. These are rice fields. So it seems like it needs a lot of water. So of course it can't grow in the desert. So pine trees need cold weather. Rice also need a lot of water, which cannot be the desert. Seaweed, look at this. Maybe I do not know the whole word, but think as we have mentioned before. Let's divide the word, okay? I will divide the word. Sea, I know the sea. Sea means البحر, okay? يبقى means water. Weed, اللي هي a sort of what? You know, حشائش. حشائش البحر, okay? Some sort of grass, but inside the water. It grows inside the water. So also seaweeds, no, not a correct answer. So it must be the cactus, sabor. Now let's come to this question. This image shows the different habitats found on land. Name the habitat where a penguin lives. Very easy. Yes, the penguin lives in the savannah. No, lions, maybe giraffes and tigers. Okay, polar ice. Yes, it is the correct answer. What about tundra? No. Okay, mountain? No. So the correct answer is polar ice. Okay, let's come to this question. Can you guess the name of the hidden animal that lives in the rainforest? So concentrate. This is their habitat. And now we are going to guess what is this animal. This animal is going to talk, to tell us some information about himself. Okay? This animal said what? I am very large snake. Okay, so it's a sort of snakes. I sleep all the day and hunt all night. So it's a nocturnal, okay, nocturnal animal. It's a nocturnal animal. It sleeps all the day and hunt all night. Don't forget nocturnal, N, and night, N, okay? So nocturnal, lives or we wake up at the night, hunt at the night, okay? So it's a type of snakes. It's a nocturnal animal. I catch prey with my teeth, okay? So he is also a sort of a predator. Constrict or squeeze them. So this is a new word, constrict. But they have mentioned another easy word, squeeze. Squeeze يعني يفعص. Okay? لما بنقولها مثلا على الأورنج, squeeze the orange يعني نعصرها, نعصر البرتقانة. Okay? So constrict means squeeze. Constrict them. يبقى after catching the prey, okay, I catch the prey with my teeth and constrict or squeeze them and then eat them. My skin is usually brown and black. Okay, so what am I? Okay, wait a minute. Here we have some important information. Constrict, okay, nocturnal, and snake. His skin is brown and black. So let's see. Green mamba. I don't know what is green mamba, okay? But the word green can let me exclude the answer, okay? Because he mentioned that his color is brown and black, okay? Jaguar, we all know the jaguar. This is the jaguar, okay? It's type of a sort of a species of tigers, like the tiger. So jaguar, no. Emerald tree frog. I don't know the word emerald. مش مهم. Okay. But I know the word frog. So is it a frog? Think a little. No, of course, the frog doesn't have the teeth and doesn't constrict its prey. Okay. Okay, let's come to the last answer, which is boa constrictor. Now, I do not know what is a boa constrictor, but You must notice this one. Notice constrictor. This word resembles this word also, constrict. Okay, so here we have two words, constrict, okay, and the other one is constrictor. Okay, do you remember the suffix? We have said that the suffix er or or means the doer. For example, play, player. So this is the suffix. Okay, what about act, actor? This is also the suffix. It means the person or who did the verb. So constrictor means something which does the verb constrict. Okay, this is must be the correct answer. Okay, this is the way how we think. This is the way how we think. Exclude the irrational answers. And number two, we must find relations between words. يبقى احنا بنحل الأسئلة بطرق كتير، من ضمنها الاستبعاد للإجابات الغير منطقية أو اللي هي شكلها ما تنفعش خالص. ماشي. تاني حاجة إن احنا بنلاقي أو بنوجد العلاقات بين الكلمات اللي موجودة عندي في السؤال، زي كلمة constrict الverb وconstrictor الdoer أو الفاعل بتاع الverb ده. Let's see this question. Thousands of species of plants live in the rainforests around the world. Okay, why is the rainforest a great place for plants to live? We must mention here what are the characteristics of the rainforest. احنا بنقول دايما and we have two factors, the temperature والrain, the amount of rainfall. Okay, what about temperature? It is high. Okay, warm, don't forget warm, and wet. Don't forget two W's. خلاص؟ الجو عامل ازاي في rainforest؟ دايما high temperature, warm, and what about the water? Wet. And also it is humid. Humid يعني رطب، في رطوبة طبيعي، حرارة ومية، يبقى دايما هيبقى فيه تبخير evaporation. Okay, that's what is caused humidity. Okay, طيب let's see the answers. Because the climate is hot and dry. Hot, dry. Hot, okay, but what about dry? No, it's not correct because it's always wet. It rains a lot there. Because the climate is cold and wet, wet is correct, but what about cold? No, it's not cold at all. Because the climate is cold and dry, no, and also no. Let's see the last one. Because the climate is hot, yes, and wet also yes. So this will be the correct answer. I think this one is easy and nice question. Let's see this one. Why do very few plants survive in hot desert habitats? Okay, why in the desert habitat there are no biodiversity or a large amount or a large number of plants there? Okay, let's see why. There is very little rainfall. Yes. The raccoons eat them all? Of course not, because the raccoons were, yes, in the wood lands. Okay, it rains too much in the desert? Of course not. It is too cold in the desert? No. So the first one is the correct one. Let's see this question. Which of the animals listed would you expect to find living in savanna? Okay, now, if you do not know a meaning of a word, for example, this one, okay, just omitted, okay? And read it again. Which of the animals would you expect to find living in savannah? Okay? يبقى خلينا متفقين. لو في أي سؤال أو في الإجابة جت كلمة أنت مش عارفها، هتحاول إن أنت تشيلها كأنها مش موجودة وتقرأ جملة تاني من غيرها. تمام؟ دي أحد الطرق إن إحنا نتعامل مع الكلمات الجديدة أو الصعبة. كان عندنا طريقة إن إحنا بنحولها أو نحاول نفككها لبريفكس وسفكس. ولو عرفنا نعمل هنا كده في الكلمة دي، برضو عندي كلمة listed، أدي الليست هي الروت، وعندي الإي دي ده suffix. لو فهمت كلمة list يعني قائمة، لستة، يقول لك أنا هروح أجيب الليستة بتاعت الطلبات، إحنا حتى بنقولها في العربي، أوكي؟ So يبقى there is a list of animals، دي قائمة بأسماء الحيوانات، list of animals. And what would you expect living in savannah? Okay, hammerhead shark. Okay, I don't know what is the hammerhead shark, but I know the word shark. حلو؟ يبقى كأني مش شايف دي مثلا وهستخدم كلمة shark، يبقى of course not, because shark lives in water habitat, the salt water habitat. Okay, except of the pool shark which lives in the freshwater habitat. طيب ممكن حد تاني يقول لي أنا I know the meaning of the word hammer. hammer اللي هو الشاكوش، وفعلا في سمكة أو في one of the shark types or species, its head looks like a hammer, okay? And here we have the fox. And we know that the foxes lives in, yes, either in the desert, the hot desert, or in the tundra, which is the cold desert. Okay, what about penguin? In the Arctic habitat or the polar habitat. Okay, what about the lion? Yes, it's the correct answer because it lives in the savanna. Okay, the savanna is a region full of grasses called savanna and acacia tree. Okay, let's see this question. The picture shows a habitat that is close to the equator. Okay, so do you remember the word tropical? Yes. So close to the equator means tropical. It's hot and wet. What habitat is this? This is a very easy question. Okay, why? We all know that they are, yes, the rainforests. Why coniferous forest? No, the weather is cold. Okay, hot desert, of course, no, because the equator, yes, is hot, but it's not desert because there are lots and lots of water. Okay, mountains also no, because mountains is not close to the equator. Now we have come to the end of part 2 of session 1. Please follow us with the part 3 of session 1. And thanks for watching.